In June of 2020, Megan Thee Stallion was allegedly shot in the foot by Tory Lanez, a former acquaintance and so-called friend. Thankfully, Megan wasn't critically injured in the melee. If the allegations against Lanez are true, he needs to be off the streets, and it looks like prison is exactly where he might be headed. So stay tuned and don't go away, because witnesses and cops reveal more details about the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion shooting, plus other celebrity news. First up, who is this guy? Tory Lanez is a 29-year-old Canadian rapper, singer, and record producer from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, and his birth name is Daystar Peterson. Lanez broke into the rap industry back in August of 2013 with a mixtape titled Conflicts of My Soul, the 416 Story. 2 years later, Lanez signed with record producer Benny Blanco's Mad Love Records and Interscope Records. He was nominated for a Grammy Award for his track titled Love and won 4 Juno Awards. But somewhere along the way, Lanez crossed the line from rapper-musician to gangster, and it soon looks like he'll be going on trial for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion last year. Recently, a judge ruled that the charges against Lanez will stick after hearing first-hand testimony from witnesses during a preliminary hearing. During the hearing, shocking testimony was presented that painted a dark picture of what led up to the shooting, and if convicted and held responsible for the shooting incident, Lanez is looking at some heavy prison time. During the preliminary hearing, detectives close to the case testified and revealed that a heated argument over Tory Lanez and excessive alcohol consumption played a key role in the incident. Next up, what further details have been revealed in the case? Let's take a look. During recent interviews with detectives following the June 2020 incident, Megan Thee Stallion sat down with LAPD detective Ryan Stogner and claimed that she was hit by glass and not shot. Later, Megan took to Instagram and admitted that she lied to Stogner out of fear that if she told him the truth and named Lanez as a shooter, he'd be harmed or killed by the police officers. To understand the rationale between Megan's fib, however, we need some context. Megan's interview with Stogner came just after George Floyd's murder, so it makes sense that she would have some fear and trepidation in revealing who had shot her. Reports indicate that Megan told Stogner that on the night she was shot, Lanez was heavily intoxicated, and just before the shooting, an argument broke out between Lanez, Megan, and her friend Kelsey while sitting in a car. Prior to the shooting, Lanez was also engaged in flirtatious behavior with celebrity Kylie Jenner. Lanez and Megan were reportedly involved in a romantic relationship, which made Kelsey upset, because she too had a crush on Lanez. Kelsey allegedly told Megan that she backdoored her, which is urban slang for being set up or betrayed. During the argument, Megan got out of the car and she was walking away. Lanez shouted, "Dance, B, dance," and fired multiple gunshots at the ground. According to court documents, the bullets fired by Lanez struck Megan's feet and injured her. Later, Lanez allegedly apologized to Kelsey during a phone call from jail and told police investigators he was only trying to protect his girl. Up next, what is the fallout from the incident thus far? You're about to find out. It was recently revealed during the preliminary trial hearing that Detective Stogner said that Megan told him Lanez apologized for shooting her and begged her not to tell police that he was the shooter. Lanez reportedly offered Megan some hush money to keep quiet about the shooting because he was on probation. What's frustrating about the case for Megan, though, are the reports circulating in the media about what led up to the shooting, which is understandable because they show her in a negative light. Megan took to Twitter to vent her frustrations and said, "Don't blog/journalists have to have accurate/credible sources before going with a story? Or is it just like a new I got paid to post this or I heard out from a homegirl type policy these days?" In a subsequent tweet, Megan revealed that she was being re-traumatized by all of the bad publicity surrounding the hearing and said, "Like I've been shot, and the focus of some of these headlines are dismissing that I was attacked with a weapon while unarmed, and trying to paint it as a catfish between friends. Why do I have to relive this with everyone on the internet every day and watch y'all gaslight me?" The Los Angeles County judge in the case upheld the charges against Lanez, and the LA Times reports that Lanez sat disgusted requested during the 90-minute preliminary hearing, and frequently shook his head. Lanez's lawyers did not offer any comment about the judge's decision. Lanez was ordered back to court on January 13, 2022, and if he's convicted on all counts, he faces a maximum sentence of 22 years and 8 months in one of California's state prison facilities. Lanez has formally entered a plea of not guilty. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we've got more celebrity news coming your way. Next up, what is U.S. reality's TV star and multi-hyphenate Paris Hilton's latest business venture? You're about to find out. 2022 looks like it's going to be a good year for Hilton, who now commands $1 million per night for her celebrity DJ services, entertaining clubgoers around the world in places such as China, Dubai, and the island of Ibiza. On New Year's Eve, Hilton will hold a virtual event on the online gaming platform Roblox. Hilton has created a virtual island in Roblox online gaming world, which has been dubbed Paris World by fans. Visitors can even explore digital replicas of her Beverly Hills estate, complete with its very own dog mansion, or stroll a boardwalk inspired by the neon carnival-style wedding celebration that Hilton and her husband, Carter Reum, held at the Santa Monica Pier in California. Users can also explore the island in a luxury sports car or a Sunray yacht. Like many virtual meeting places, Paris World collects small payments for purchasing virtual clothing or even booking a ride on a jet ski for some fun in the sun and surf. When asked about the metaverse, the place where the physical and digital/virtual world meets, Hilton had this to say: "For me, the metaverse is somewhere that you can do everything you can do in real life in the digital world. Not everybody gets to experience that, so that's what we've been working together on over the past year, giving them all my inspirations of what I want in that world." Up next, why are two of the biggest celebrities in the world in Australia? Let's have a look. George Clooney and Julia Roberts are reuniting down under for a romantic comedy in which they will play divorced parents traveling to Bali to stop their daughter's destination wedding. The two megastars were recently spotted on set of their upcoming film titled Ticket to Paradise on Tuesday, December 28th in Australia's Gold Coast region. Roberts, now 54, and Clooney, now 60, are being directed by Ol Parker. Roberts and Clooney have shared the screen together before in films such as Ocean's 11 and Money Monster. Earlier this month, Roberts hilariously slid into the frame on the Jimmy Kimmel Show for a quick cameo as Clooney was discussing his new movie, The Tender Bar. When Roberts swooped in on a rolling chair, Kimmel said, "Oh my goodness, wow, holy moly." Clooney pretended not to notice Roberts, and Kimmel said, "George, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a woman sitting next to you." When Roberts rolled away from the frame, Kimmel quipped, "Maybe I hallucinated that. It looked like Julia Roberts though." Ticket to Paradise also stars Caitlin Dever and Billy Lord, and they're also in Australia shooting with Clooney and Roberts. For those of you who don't know, Lord's mother is the late Carrie Fisher. Finally, you've heard the hit series Sex and the City, but did you know that Cynthia Nixon almost refused to take part in the spin-off series? And just like that, here's why. Nixon, the And Just Like That star, is now 55, and she said she almost turned down the opportunity to reprise her role as Miranda Hobbs due to her personal concerns about the original series. Nixon said, "It was a very hard decision. I was very reluctant." Nixon's concerns stemmed from viewers and critics of the original Sex and the City series. Things such as Sarah Jessica Parker's character, Carrie Bradshaw, claiming that bisexuality doesn't exist, or Kim Cattrall's character, Samantha Jones, making racially charged statements, were heavily criticized by both viewers and critics. In a recent interview, Nixon commented on what she perceived as the original series' problematic jokes and said, "I'm very proud of the original series, despite it being occasionally tone-deaf on race and gender, and being Miranda has opened up so many amazing roles for me over the years. But the further I get away from Miranda, the better they get, because people have stopped thinking of me as just that one character." Nixon opened up about what led her to agree to reprise her role as Miranda in And Just Like That, and had this to say, "The more I talked to Sarah Jessica, Michael Patrick King, and Kristen Davis about the things I could not go back without, a real sea change in terms of lack of diversity in the original series, they were on board." That's a wrap for today's video, folks. Thanks for watching until the end.